Some say love, it is a hunger and endless aching need. Say love, it is a flower and it's only seed. Some say love, it is a hunger and endless it's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to hear. Afraid of dying, that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the walk has been too long, and you think love is one of them is Emily and one is Mum.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to see this many people. And I know Mum would just, yeah, she loved this. So there's a few chairs spare. If you name the family, as in Mum's family, are really, really friendly. So as long as you have a dark sense of humour, you're welcome to take some of these spare seats. But otherwise, feel free we need to start with Mustang Sally. That's good, I'm glad. So, if you've ever been privy and have the honour of coming to a party gathering, Mustang Sally is an anthem. And so we'd love to play it for you today, and obviously join in, because Mum would definitely. Alright, let's go. That is so far away. Can everyone hear me? It's a big desk. I will. Thanks, Jen, for the reminder. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's... Oh, no. First of all, I just wanted, again, I know I said it before, but thank you so much. Just absolutely overwhelming to see this many people. I think when we picked this place, we thought it would be enough, and so we vastly underestimated mums. Thank you. Yeah, silly me. So, but again, thank you so much. So, I'll invite you guys afterwards, but I would love to catch up with some of you at the wake, and I think some of the family would, particularly if it's been a long time, which I know for some of us it has. But again, just wanted to thank you. A few other thank yous. I wanted to thank the hospital. If any people are from the hospital, or if anyone was at the hospital while Mum was there, they did an exceptional job. I think one of the main things that really moved me was that
there was a lot, there was a lot of us. I think we were one day away from actually bringing some sort of tent or something that we could stay in. But just out of the blue, no one asked, one of the nurses came in and gave Mum a double room. So it was meant to be shared by someone else. They gave us a double room, and that was exceptional. The what, sorry? We filled that too, that's right. You guys promised no heckling, so yeah. No, that's all right. Keep it coming, keep it coming. The other people or place I wanted to thank was the hospice as well. Again, just an exceptional, yeah. Just awesome. I can't really give you any specifics as to why. It was just the whole thing was just amazing. We are having a bit of a collection for them at the wake, is that right? Yeah. So if you want to, they really looked after Mum, and they're self-funded, so they run off the funding and the generosity of others. So I welcome you or encourage you to throw a little bit towards that, because yeah, it was good. It was very good. I also want to thank in particular Auntie Karen. Honestly, like obviously as you guys would know, this time was difficult, and so Karen just took control of all the other stuff that I didn't care about. Basically, all I wanted to do was just spend the last few days with Mum. Wanted to make sure the siblings were okay and have a laugh with the family. And just without prompting, Karen did the beautiful presentation that you see. And just a lot of today couldn't have happened without Karen. And then also Uncle Mark for just being a man to support us. So that was awesome. Yeah, thanks guys. Definitely well deserved. And then to anyone that could make time to come and see Mum in the last few days, again, thank you so much. It was really awesome. And for those of you who couldn't make that, but were able to make today, it means so much. And that's not a tokenistic thing. It genuinely means a lot to see you all here. So thank you, Tony, for setting up this beautiful band thing that we have going on here. So you can't half tell it was last minute. I think I just vomited so much information to Tony last night saying we need this. We have 2 PowerPoints to work with. Can you make it happen? He said, yep. He showed up half an hour before I did, and just sat and just waited here. So thank you. Nothing much has changed with me, Tony. So yeah, you're welcome, but thank you. And if there's anyone else that I've missed, thank you. It means a lot. So, having said that, the tough part, the eulogy, but while it is tough, it's an honour to do this for Mum. It just kind of, I guess, as most eulogies do, they summarise Mum's life in a nutshell. It has some observations from some family about what they saw in Mum and what they appreciated Mum, has some thoughts from myself, and Matt, if you want to come up and join me, you're still welcome to. This is Mum's beautiful daughter / my sister, Maddie. Josh is also coming up. Nice shirt, mate. Yeah, well done. Well done. There's no judgment from me. I would have dressed the same when I was 16, 17, so... All right. Sally was born to Mari and Cliff Parker on the 27th of August 1965. They were thrilled to welcome a little daughter after 3 sons. Mari met Cliff when she lived with her family on her uncle's farm. They had moved from the basin in the Victorian Dandenongs because Mari was pregnant with Jenny, who was adopted by Mari's parents, and so created the amazing biological family story we know and love today. Mari and Cliff went on to have one more son, Tim. Sadly, in 1972, after a couple of years living in Queensland, Mari died at age 34, leaving Cliff a widower raising 5 children. Eventually, Cliff met and married Jean, and they created a new family with Jean's 2 daughters. In the fullness of time, another daughter was born, and Sally grew up in a noisy home surrounded by siblings. Mum was the only girl raised in a family with 4 brothers, Mark, Dale, Tony and Tim. Moving to Queensland in 1971, the family purchased a corner shop in Taringa, Brisbane, where they lived till the Parker clan moved to their home in Camp Hill. With 8 children, their home in Camp Hill was bursting at the seams, but always full of laughter and continued chatter. Mum's sister Tess, or Auntie Tess, sent me this beautiful story that I needed to share, and it kind of gives you a picture of what Mum was like when she was younger. And again, there will be no surprises, but it's a good story anyway. So Sally's adventures from when we were about grade 5 to 7. We had 2 favourite weekend pastimes. One was to hop on our bikes and simply ride in random directions for hours and hours on end. We also liked entering our primary school grounds at Cooperoo. I'm sure that was legal, surely, yeah.
Grandma,
Yeah.
you weren't supposed to know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, Jean, were you... Oh, sorry, I didn't... Yeah, thought you were up the back. And the second was to hop on a council bus with an all-day Rover ticket that meant we could get on and off as many times as we liked. We had no mobile phones and we weren't even teens. So there you go. We usually had no idea where we were going, but we did on one occasion find our way to the old shop at Taringa that the family used to run. I think on that occasion we were worried we wouldn't make it home before dark, which was the golden rule those days. Fewer weekend buses back then too. So we rang home from a pay station, 3984117. Someone check if that works. I don't know whether that's true. Yeah. To be encouraged to get home now. Even at a young age, Mum showed the fearlessness that we admire today. She attended Cooperoo State Primary School and later went on to Camp Hill State High School, when she left in Year 10 to pursue some of her favourite working years as part of the Barry and Roberts supermarket chain. She loved her days in the city in particular, and her father Cliff brought her a Cortina sedan for her to go to work in. I'm not sure how long that lasted. I think that was a while. Yeah. We'll get to that. That's a great story. Again, Auntie Tess sent me this banger of a story as well. So Auntie Tess tells a story where her little sister Sally was earning money while she was still at school and being the most incredibly giving sister. She would often lend me things she had just bought even when she hadn't had a chance to use or wear something herself. This even extended to me having my first car accident. Not me. I would never crash a car. This is Tess. I just want to be clear. This is Tess. So safe on the roads. It's a first car crash, and Tess was devastated that she dinged Mum's car and rang her in tears at the city in Barry and Roberts' store. But Mum, of course, was only interested in knowing if Tess was safe and didn't care at all about the damage. Dad, in his typical can-do fashion, immediately went to the local library and took out a book on panel beating and fixed the dent, no drama. So, I was just imagining Mark wouldn't have even need to have borrowed a book, he just would have known, so you got one up on him. Mum eventually moved in with Uncle Dale and Auntie Lynn at Bell. Where is Bell, by the way? Sorry, I didn't get a chance. Dalby and Kingaroy, so no one, it's not real. It's a patch of grass, somewhere. Yeah. I was, yeah, sorry. I've disgraced my heritage, my apologies. In 1987, Mum had her first son, me. Well done, Mum. From my earliest memories, the main thing that stands out about Mum is that family was everything. Every time there was a Parker gathering, I can recollect me going to sleep at home, waking up in a taxi on the way to a relative's house, falling back asleep, and then waking up at a relative's house surrounded by loved ones. Often the extended family had gathered at our house at Mount Gravatt, the place where Mum and I lived in our early years. While I was quite young at that stage, I've heard that there was never a dull moment. When we all got together, there were great times to be had. Lots of laughs, lots of food fights, filling the kids' pool up with bubbles, and many great memories. I think I remember seeing a snake at one point as well, but that might have just been me. No snakes, okay. Yeah, I was young. What I also remember is that Mum never turned down an opportunity to have a gas bag, as she called it, or more pleasantly, to be a listening ear. Mum was always talking to someone about something, and it did not matter what it was, nor could I tell what it was even about. But I'm sure it was important to those people that were having a chat with her. Mum later applied through Centrelink to do study, and they put her through administration. Mum graduated college and got a job at ARI, which is the Animal Research Institute at Yurong-Pili, as an administration officer. This was where she met Mark Beutel. He came to Mount Gravatt a couple of times, and that's where Mum's family met him. He suggested to Sally that she move into his house with me, as it wasn't so far for her to drive, and she was going to go next door, and he was going to go next door to his parents' place. Mum was reportedly, and I would imagine, so excited. So the family helped her move into the Bundam Ipswich area. It's all moulds in Ipswich. There's no clear boundaries anywhere. Sally fell in love with Mark, and they were married at the Baptist Church in Ipswich. Their marriage was long and fruitful, as you can see. Sally was beside herself with joy when she... I didn't even write that one in, so that was... Sally was beside herself with joy when she became a mum again, first to Maddie in 1999 and then to Josh in 2002. Sally had many good times with her family before leaving the marriage in 2015 to pursue her next awesome dream. Mum's love for the family she grew up with carried deeply into the way that she mothered her own children. As kids, we of course couldn't see the tireless effort she poured into making sure we had our school lunches and making sure the house was clean and tidy. We had no understanding of how hard she worked during the day to make sure we had what we needed. What we did know was that no matter how furious she was at the things we had done, or in my case, not done, or how tired she was, we could always count on her reminding us that she loved us and always had a decent home-cooked meal ready for us. The specials included apricot chicken, meatballs and mash, and the times her and I would sneak extra takeout on non-takeout nights. Probably because she just didn't feel like cooking, but it felt special to me. Sally loved her career of working in employment services, but there was one hidden gem in her career with her sister Tess, and that's in 2008 when she was State Administrations Manager for Lifestyle Solutions, and her boss and state manager was Tess. We only worked together there for just under a year. It was a dodgy org where the CEO later went to prison. I don't know whether I was meant to mention that, but Mum and Tess did a great job. Everyone else, maybe not so. But they were life-changing times. I knew and loved my sister, but could we work together? Hell yeah. Best working experience ever. The bubbly, laughing energy certainly did transfer into the workplace, but in the most professional manner. Together, we created the Queensland footprint for that org. It was a massive job, and we inspired each other every step of the way. And I'm sure if you worked with Mum at any point, you could probably vouch for the same. Over the last few weeks in particular, I learned a lot about Mum and had the honour of seeing other precious sides to her. When we were asked about what sort of jewellery or makeup she likes, there was always a note that Mum liked a simple blush and not a lot of jewellery, just as long as the earrings were long. I can honestly say that this wasn't Mum being modest, but rather that she shone so bright that there was no need for any extras. Another thing worth noting is that Mum poured everything into the things and people she loved, hence why you're all here. I don't think there was ever a moment in Mum's life that anyone can say that she wasted. Mum loved what she did as an employment recruiter and always went that extra mile to secure employment for her clients. I am sure she helped so many people find work, or even just to start believing that they were even worth hiring to begin with. It is evident by the people and the character of the people sitting in this room that who Mum was and what she did for people was that she had integrity, laughter and courage. Finally, I just want to say that cancer didn't win. Cancer may have taken Mum's physical life, but it didn't take her sense of humour, her fight or her ability to tell me to behave myself. I am convinced that anyone else would have passed months ago. I know Mum fought it every day. A few days ago, a special friend of mine shared this with me, and I thought it was so applicable to Mum. My first thought that was no truer words could be spoken about Mum, and it isn't Mum's passing that has primarily gathered us all here, but it's this. And it says, at times of our own life goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lightened the flame within us. Thank you.
Feel the beat on the
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's all right. Modern technology. I'm coming. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to look up. Yeah. Whoa. Doesn't help. Hi, love. Well, where to begin? It's all right. Keep talking. From you telling me off while you were trying to watch Home and Away, and to take a word of Mark Parker to get really snippy because I wouldn't shut up and wouldn't leave my comments to myself, or for laughing for hours over I got no idea what. There was just so many things and memories that are there, and to choose one is just where do you go? So there are so many words to describe who Sally was and is. The one I came up with was passion. She had passion for her kids, her career, her family and friends, and just life. Miss you. Love you, sis.
Come on, man.
We're doing it. All right. Sally was allergic to tomatoes. Luckily, she didn't like them, so anaphylactic shock was on her skin. She was an experience, a force of nature, loud, chaotic, irrepressible, unstoppable, a whirlwind of laughter, a maelstrom of noise and energy. No sooner did she have an idea that it was happening. If you look up spontaneous in your Funkin' Wagnall, there'll be a picture of Sally. She had open arms and an open heart and an unlimited capacity for fun. She was always the first to throw the food. Nuts, bread, peas, cheese. Cheese was bad. And the water fights were awesome. Buckets, hoses, ice and detergent, inside, outside, nowhere was safe. When it was done and we'd swept the water out and put on dry clothes and patted the carpet dry, Sally would start again. With a water balloon or a pistol or a bucket, what a girl. In the olden days, when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we were all broke, we started making alcoholic punch. It's a really bad idea. We used a big orange bin to put it in and froze water balloons to keep it ice cold. We drank litres of it. Pretty sure it was Sal who started throwing it. Probably when we ran out of food. Oh, it stuck in our hair and our clothes together and we all smelled like drunks. She always did take it way too far. We had our favourite songs, of course, and trotted them out at every occasion. Row, row, row your boat. How does a giraffe talk? What does he say? I am a mouse called Maximilian Mouse.
I live in Maximilian Mouse house.
One that I remember best was one we drove up the Bruce Highway doing the hand gestures out the window. Swing low, sweet chariot. I won't do the rest because it's... Come see me at the wake. Sally was there for every one of those times, singing loudly, wielding the water buckets, dancing, laughing. She'd show up at any time, lunch, dinner, midnight, with James in the back seat, hand on the car horn all the way down the road. Could hear her laughing before she even got out of the car. I've come for the weekend, she'd say. A week later, she'd still be there, wearing our clothes, because she'd run out of her own. My place on the Gold Coast, she'd convince us to drive to Caboolture to see Dale and Lynn. Every single time she promised to give me $5 for fuel. That was in the days when $5 would get you out of the driveway. Never happened. She knew the words to every ABBA song, danced the nut bush like a pro, and could outskull everyone except Dale on Punch. She played Billionaire and Precious Scrabble, charades, I Spy, laughed through every game. She was the worst person in the world to play 500 with. She always overbid and then somehow won anyway. She called misère every second hand. It's hard to say in words all that a person is, but here's how I saw her. Sally laughed 100 times a minute. Her excitement for everything was an overwhelming force that swept us all along with her. She squeezed life out of every minute. She loved us all, completely, unconditionally. And whatever the day brought her, she embraced it with open arms. She loved being a mother. She loved her job. She loved to party. She was open, forgiving. There wasn't a mean bone in her body. She faced every challenge head on, not with sadness and depression, but with courage, laughter, determination, and her particular brand of Sally positivity. She was thrilled to be here. She lit up the room. She was part of us, probably the best part, because her energy was big and inclusive, and her light was blinding. Here, in this place, with all of us shining bright, I can hear her laughing, see her dancing, feel her love. Someone called Nikita Gill, I don't know who that is, said something. You were gone, but thank you for all these soft, sweet things you left behind in my home, in my head, in my heart. I feel blessed every day you were here, Sally. You're a gift to us all. We'll always love you. Thank you.
mean, how lucky is Sally to have such talented children? Give them another clap. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be as funny as everyone else that was up here, but I will try to be a little bit entertaining. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Patty, and when Maddie, James, and Josh asked if I could say a few words on beautiful Sal, I felt privileged. Privileged because I get to tell you my Sally story. Everyone has their own because Sally has so many meaningful relationships with so many people. But now you get to hear mine. The Beutel family came into my life as a whirlwind about 13 years ago. I say whirlwind because my life has never really been the same. Maddie began singing lessons when she was 7 years old, an energetic little chatterbox with a big voice and a beautiful heart, a byproduct from her mother with the same attributes. As I started Maddie on her singing journey, I started looking forward to my chats with Sal. Sally was so full of fun, always with a story to tell and advice to give. I soon learned Sal's love for music, and when I decided to make a Yummy Mummy singing group, Sally was the first one to put her hand up. Sally was always the life of the party and always loved being centre stage. Even if she struggled with a few notes here and there, she always made up for it in energy and sparkle. Our mummies group was always the best time when Sal was around. Sally and I had many deep and meaningful conversations over the years. She always had the best advice to give, even if she didn't really take it herself. Sally's honesty gave me 100% respect for her, whether it be she didn't like my hair colour, doesn't like me blonde, just so you know, or advice about life. I could always trust Sal was going to be upfront and honest. I was privileged to take my little family on holidays with Sally and Maddie, and Josh sometimes too, and soon they all became our second family. Sally never got to see her own grandchildren, but I know my kids loved her like she was a grandmother. And when that time comes, when her children have children of their own, I know that they will have a little firecracker just like Sally. On the 3rd of November 2018, everything changed. We were all practicing for our singing concert that night when all of us, we were all practicing for our singing concert that night. When all of a sudden, Sally started to get pain in her shoulder and back. The pain progressively got worse, but Sally was like, the show must go on. So she took to the stage singing Love to Have a Beer with Sally. Sally did an amazing performance that night, only to be raced to the hospital straight after the show. The morning after was our darkest day together. At 5 a.m, Sally rings me from her hospital bed. She told me the doctors found lesions in her liver and lungs. We cried together, and then I took Maddie up to the hospital. The three of us cried together in that hospital room, coming to terms with the news. From that day, our lives changed forever. Sally was the bravest woman I know. To this day, she never thought her illness would beat her. Sally stayed optimistic about everything. I was lucky to spend quality time with Sal over the past few months, and the only thing she cared about was that her children were okay. And today, I am so proud of every single one of them because the strength that they have shown is just insane. So you guys should be very proud. Sally loved all three of her children more than anything in the world and was really looking forward to her cruise. So much so that she got discharged from hospital and went straight to the ship.
Literally the night before the cruise, she got discharged.
The unsinkable Sally Beutel is how I picture her. Sally followed her heart and her dreams and did things her way. I am so grateful I get to say she was my friend, my family, and everyone in this room can say the same. Life is what you make it, and Sally made it sparkle. You were a gift, Sal, that we weren't ready to lose, but there's obviously bigger plans for you. I promise that I will look after Maddie for you, and that your memory will live forever in all the lives you touched. We love you, Sal. And we want to give Sal the shirt, her Yummy Mummy shirt. Are you ready? star. And Sophie wants to say a few words.
I love you, Sally, very much. You made me happy, and we went on a ride together.
Okay. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to give my condolences to Maddie, James, Josh, might help if I put my eyes on, and Sel's amazing family. Over the last month, I've had the fortune of spending a lot of time with all of you, and in such a personal and precious time, I'm very grateful for you allowing me into that space. It's easy to see where Sel gets her caring, kind and giving nature. You're all just an amazing bunch. All right, love. You said 20. Cheapskate. I think it's my shout for the wine anyway. Sally would light up every room she walked into with her positive, bubbly and motivating personality. One of Sel's life passions was to assist others in assisting them being the best version of themselves they could be, and she certainly achieved that in many times, both in her professional life and her personal life. Sel was so passionate about being a part of employment services, and that's where I got the pleasure of meeting Sel many years ago. Sel and I had a very unique relationship. Sel would ring me up and say, "Sue, I need a bloody Sue fix." And I'd say, "That's good, because I need a Sel fix." So off we'd go to Brothers, a few cocktails later, lots of chats, a bit of dancing and lots of fun. We were completely open with each other, no sugarcoating anything, giving each other honest advice, which is a one in a million friendship, which I'll certainly treasure forever. No matter what Sel was going through in those last few weeks, she'd look at me and say, "Well, how are you going?" I'd say, "Well, Sel, it is what it is, love, but I'm grateful for every time that we had together. And wherever you are, I know you'll always be with me." And she goes, "Yep, Susie, I will." So I'm grateful for that, Sel. Not often we come across someone like Sel, someone that makes a difference. I'll miss our chats, our cocktails, and certainly our friendship. Well, Sel, it's time for you to share your bubbly personality with the angels above. Look out, angels, here comes Sel. I love you heaps. Thank you.
We've gone over time, and that's exactly how I planned it. Just going to finish off with a song my awesome uncle, Uncle wrote. And so it was his son that laughed, and everyone else did. So just use this time to reflect on your relationship that you've had with Mum/Sally, and then Maddie and I will play a song, but obviously lead during that song.
About 3 weeks ago, we came up with this awesome idea to write a song for you. And I said, "James, you can sing it, I'll write it for you." And I didn't give a thought after that. So I wasn't going to say, "You got the song ready?" Yeah, but I gave you the words I wrote out. I says, "Oh, yeah." So I made some new ones, but I don't think I can sing them. They're just not right for this style. You know, when you write it, it's like, that's not what I want. So I'm going to sing the choruses. You just reflecting that everybody's. I seen days when you just had to win. I've seen days when you were smooth and strong. I've seen days when you Mamma mia.
feathers all over this room now. They're everywhere.